I'm the Fulgence High School in Sheepshead Bay, so I do know the community very well. And I'll say, especially over the last decade, as Superintendent Beauvais put out there, there's been an urgent need for additional programs within this community, whether it is dyslexia programs, additional CTE and technical education programs for students. And I think we've had a lot of advocacy over time with SEA, with enrollment, with district planning about making sure students here in South Brooklyn have the same opportunities that students across the city have. And unfortunately, we have not always been able to put those programs in place due to space constraints or buildings not having the right facilities. And I think one of the real assets about this project, given its newness, is that the community can really have a say in what actually occurs and what types of programs are open, right? And Superintendent Beauvais talked specifically about needs that have come in the K-8 space. But I know, for instance, that we have an enormous amount of need at the high school space for programs that meet current career trajectories for our students. And this allows you all as a community to really have a say in what that looks like here. And that's a rare opportunity. I know over the time that Superintendent Prayer has been superintendent across Brooklyn South High Schools, we have never opened a new building. The only new building he has opened is the STEAM Center, which is located in Brooklyn North in the Navy Yard. And so this presents a rare generational opportunity to really think about what the students in this community, not today, but in 5 years and 10 years, need and deserve that they don't already have. And it's about the input of the community, as far as we are concerned, about what those programs will look like. Because as they said, that has not been set in stone, right? This is about the building and the location at this point. But I know as we look at what we are putting in place for our schools, it is about ensuring that our student needs are met, that your children, your grandchildren's needs are met, and that this is that opportunity to say what you believe the community should see in a high school, if it is a high school, that is open and make sure that it meets the needs of all kids. So we are also at the district office really open to hearing from you about what that looks like and how we can make sure that it is put in place to the benefit of the entire community here in Bergen Beach, but also across the district, okay? So I just also want to once again open up as well to say that as this process continues to unfold, if it moves forward, please reach out to our office, please reach out to me and talk with me again about what you would like to see here in this community. I would also open that invitation, whether it's for this location or any of our schools in the community, to make sure that we meet the current need of you, your families, and our children. All right, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Before we take questions, I guess at the board's discretion, I would just add that just from a timeline perspective, if we're given approval to acquire the site, we are 1 year in design of the school and 3 to 4 years in construction. So we're talking about something that's 5-ish years from now. And the way that this works when we build a brand new school, not an addition or an annex to an existing school, is that the superintendent's offices and district planning will do a series of community engagement sessions with your CECs, with your community boards, with your elected officials about programming for that building so that we're meeting the real-time needs of your communities as the school prepares to open. So that would all happen 2 to 3 years from now if we're able to acquire the site, just to give you a sense of timing. Because I know that was a question that someone had posed. So at the board's discretion, we're happy to take any questions.
All right, so I'm going to first have our Planning and Zoning Committee is going to speak first, and then board members will speak after that, then members of the public. Again, remember, we do have to use the microphone so that everyone on WebEx can hear. But I'm going to actually ask the first question because I just need it for clarity.
Naomi, point of order. Sorry. Shouldn't they show the slide presentation?
There is
We did that last week, so.
But there were a lot of people here who haven't seen it. And there was no.
There really wasn't anything to show on the slide presentation.
Okay.
It's the whole block of, yeah.
The seat number, the seat size, the square feet.
Do we have it though?
We can certainly share it. You know, we were trying to follow up with the concerns that we received last week about the programming. If you'd like us to share it, we can certainly see if we can pull it up.
Well, first, Olivia, would it be possible?
We emailed it last week.
All right, while they're pulling that up, this question is very simple. So we talked about 676 seats last week. So now it's 670 ed and then plus 95 D75.
No, the 96 is part of, so it's 676 minus 96 equals that number of gen ed seats. So
Got
it's
it.
696 total, including the 96.
Thank you so
I guess
much.
that's 600.
All right, while they're getting that together, Councilmember Farah Lewis, did you want to give remarks now? And my apologies for not announcing you when I first sat down.
Good evening, everyone. While they get that going, I'm very happy to see everyone. Happy 2026. I know we're far in. Just wanted to quickly share with everyone some of the things that we were able to accomplish in the city council in the last year. I was able to pass a series of bills, one being on housing and safety. That was our Ben Z law, local law 151. An 11-month-old baby was killed by a faulty radiator in his apartment in Midwood. We immediately put in a bill and tackled the issue with the administration, got the bill passed, and while this doesn't definitely help the family get a resolution, we are happy to have supported the family in this capacity. Some other bills we got passed was on reproductive and maternal mortality and morbidity, local laws 109 and 108 for women in New York City that need support in tackling issues happening at health hospitals. Also, we passed some bills on STEM education and tackling disparities in high schools when it comes to STEM and tech. So just wanted to share that. And lastly, pay equity for women. You know, the larger portion of our civil service workforce is women. So we were able to tackle some issues with that legislatively. Just wanted to share that in 2026, we will be focusing on childcare, affordability measures, with our new speaker, Julie Menon. I don't know if you guys saw that news on social media. And as the new chair for the subcommittee on zoning and franchises, my goal is to continue to fight on our new zoning laws. I don't know if you guys saw that on the referendum. If you voted last year, if you flipped the ballot, we have some new zoning laws. And ensuring that community boards in the whole city are aware and prepared to challenge applicants. So we're already starting the process now, and the first zoning hearing is going to be next Monday. If you want to tune in, let me know. Sabrina's here from my office. So there will be a lot of things happening out of that committee as we try to tackle zoning issues here in our city. Also wanted to share with you all, we have some flyers up front regarding our discretionary funding workshops. These trainings are designed for you if you have a nonprofit organization. We want to prepare you and equip you for the application process. So we are asking everyone to please join the trainings because they are for you. We have 10 trainings designed for everyone here that is interested. So we have that up front. And I'm very grateful to Congressman Jeffries and Congresswoman Clark, who hosted a workshop with us last week to address Haitian TPS. We're not sure what's going to happen on February 3rd, but we continue to prepare our constituents for next steps. And very grateful to Governor Kathy Hochul. She did the 2-care expansion announcement in our district about a week and a half ago. So very happy to see that she's making investments in childcare here in our city, along with our new mayor. And we are excited to see how that expands across Community Board 18. That's all I have for now. We have flyers up front. Sabrina's here from my office if we need to add anything else. Does anybody have any questions for me? Perfect. I'll hand it back over to the chair.
Thank you so much. Pay equity, I was the only person that clapped up here when we heard pay equity.
We all clap, come on.
And congratulations on your appointment to the subcommittee as chair. Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse, do you want to wait? Because I feel like you might want to weigh in on this.
I want to wait.
Okay.
I'm here to listen.
All right.
My report gonna be on the 29th when we come to the state address of the.
Say this again. Thank you so much. Are you guys ready? Are you ladies ready over there? No? Still need a minute? All right, so we are going to hear from Jennifer from Senator Roxanne Persaud's office. Are you ready? Okay.
Pleasant evening, everyone.
Definitely not on that.
Testing.
We see green.
Sorry, hang on a second. I'm trying to take the jacket off.
It's on.
Pleasant afternoon, everyone. I am Jennifer Vivek Horsford. I'm the Director of Community Relations in the Office of Senator Persaud. All right. So
Thank you.
I'm going to get
Stop.
into
Yes, thank you. Thank you so
2025
much.
legislative session. And it's in the newsletter as well, so I'll just give you a snapshot.
Sorry, guys, I'm taking off my jacket.
It says the 2025 legislative wrap-up.
I think that mic is for them.
There. Gotta get it close.
Close.
Don't hear me banging.
Not singing.
Hello.
Woman, go. Please. Love of God. Christ. Let's go.
Testing.
God help
The
me.
2025 legislative wrap-up, June 2025 legislative sessions. 33 bills sponsored by Senator Persaud was passed in the Senate. 16 bills were passed in the Assembly. And also, I would like you to know that the remaining bills are pending. And some of the 2025 highlights include the Senate Democratic majority has been the primary advocate for expanding universal school meals. And I know we have some people here, stakeholders in education here, program for all students. And this year, for the first time, enacted for the fiscal year 2025 to 26, a budget of $340 million to provide free breakfast and lunch for every student across New York State. Additionally, the Senate won additional crucial funding for the children and families, and this is $110 million to renovate and to build a new childcare center, increasing the child tax credit to $1,000. Also, I would like you to know that Senator has been championing the cause for human trafficking. It's something that's very serious in our state. And so all that information is available. And then lastly, New York State Senate majority continues its protection on reproductive and maternal health care, advancing reform to modernize pregnancy loss reporting to better protect patient confidentiality. All right, and access to family planning and other options. So I would end here. I have lots of information for you. Additionally, I'm excited to know that Senator Persaud came up with an idea where we have a new business card. So instead of you having flyers and you lose them or you drop them, you scan the QR code and you will never miss an event in the district. I thank you because you deserve to be served.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It sounds like we got everything working.
Okay. Great.
Mm.
You stock up on shovel?
Can everyone hear me?
Can everyone hear me? All right, here we go. So the school construction authority, also known as the SCA mission statement, is to design and construct safe, attractive, and environmentally sound public schools for the children throughout the many communities of New York City. We are dedicated to building and modernizing schools in a responsible, cost-effective manner while achieving the highest standards of excellence in safety, quality, and integrity. Thank you, Andrea. Since that's small, I'm going to read from my paper. Notice of filing, New York City School Construction Authority. Pursuant to Section 1731 of the New York City School Construction Authority Act, notice has been filed for the proposed site selection of all portions of Block 8411, Lot 1, and any other nearby sites for the construction of a new, approximately 676-seat high school facility with a D75 program in Brooklyn. It's in Bergen Beach. The proposed site is located at 7001 Avenue U and is an entire block located on the north side of Avenue U between East 70th Street and East 71st Street in the Bergen Beach neighborhood of Brooklyn. The site is currently vacant land and paved parking. The proposed site will be acquired by the New York City School Construction Authority on behalf of the New York City Department of Education and is approximately 29,300 square foot, which is 0.67 acre lot. The site plan and supplemental materials summarizing the proposed action are available at the New York City School Construction Authority, 2501 Jackson Avenue, Long Island City, New York, 11101. Attention, Kelly Murphy, Senior Director of Real Estate. Our website address is listed, and comments on the proposed action are to be submitted to the New York City School Construction Authority at the above address or by email at sites@nycsca.org and will be accepted until February 25th, 2026.
Thank you.
The SCA's public process for site selection is as follows. The SCA is required to present school real estate sites to the local community board and community education councils before moving forward. A 45-day public comment period on the sites commenced January 5th, 2026 and ends February 25th, 2026. Formal comments can be shared through mail and email. Today's presentation will focus on the site itself rather than specifics about the school facility. At this juncture, we do not have design details to share. The seat need and proposed site. The School Construction Authority is proposing to build a new approximately 676-seat high school. The proposed site is approximately 29,300 square feet, which is 0.67 acres. The process includes environmental review and engagement with city agencies such as DOT, DEP, and FDNY before going to City Council for final approval. This next page is the proposed high school site at 7001 Avenue U. Here you see a street view of the proposed site. You see an area view, and the actual yellow trapezoid-looking space is actually Block 8411, Lot 1. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you. A 45-day comment period on the site began January 25th, 2026. Comments can be emailed to sites@nycsca.org. Comments on the site can be mailed to the New York City School Construction Authority, attention Kelly Murphy, 2501 Jackson Avenue, Long Island City, New York, 11101. Other questions and ongoing project contacts, you can email me. My contact information is listed, as well as the Department of Education, Rebecca Lynch, and Rebecca's email address is listed there. And that concludes the presentation of the proposed site at 7001 Avenue U. Thank you.
All right, so now we'll hear from the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Maybe we should be last, because I have a motion for what was discussed last week.
Your recommendation.
Yeah. Want me to do that first?
Yeah, you can give your recommendation now.
Okay.
We can put the motion onto the floor and then we'll open up for discussion.
Okay. All right. Planning and Zoning Committee met.
You're on time.
Oops. Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah, okay. Can't hear myself. Okay. Planning and zoning committee members were present on Thursday, January 15th, 2026, for an informational presentation, that one, of the proposed high school at 7001 Avenue U. Had, in a small, oddly shaped lot, as you noticed, school in a 10-block radius, overburdening the area with traffic, parking issues, narrow passage of the streets, more buses, garbage, and safety issues with a shortage of crossing guards. For all those reasons, Planning and Zoning Committee recommends that we vote against the proposal, and we'll take that to the full board later on as we hear discussion.
And is there a motion?
I move that we vote no to a high school at 7001 Avenue.
Do we have a second? We don't. I'm gonna take one. Mike Trotter, okay, so it was moved by Tom Hernandez and second by Mike Trotter that we do not approve the proposed high school site at 7001 Avenue U. Is there any discussion? So now at this time, when I say is there discussion, there'll also be questions and all that. You hear him calling my name back there. Mr. Sedio?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I just had a few questions. One, what other sites were considered for this school?
You went through this.
He was here on Thursday. He would have got the answer, but you know.
You have to use the mic
Mic.
recorder.
2 on Utica.
Thank you very much.
Separate one.
Thank you very much. So there were 3 additional sites considered at 2079-2115 Utica Avenue. That site was determined infeasible due to its size, design, and construction concerns.
Do you
And
know
then-
what that was between? That's
Right.
on the
No.
J, H, I, and J or something?
It doesn't give me the
old
between
writing.
streets.
By the J.
Avenue S.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
No, that was the other one.
No, no.
2079-2115 Utica Avenue.
J.
That's Avenue J.
That's Avenue J in Utica, the corner. There's a supermarket on there, right? Yeah.
And the second site was 2343 Utica Avenue. And I also do not have the between streets listed in the notice of filing. And that site was we were unable to pursue this site at the lot, as the lot cannot accommodate the projected school program. And then the third site
Sorry,
is,
what does that
We didn't
mean?
know the program.
As compared to this.
Capacity of the
I thought we didn't know the
needs
program.
of the school might be an irregularly shaped lot, might not be able to fit.
Can't get more irregular
Than what you have
shape
now.
than 70th Street.
I know it looks irregular to you, but that's a pretty good shape for us.
And a square wouldn't work.
A square is great,
That
but
second location on Utica Avenue is a square or a triangle.
I don't have the
Rectangle.
details on why that site doesn't work. We can certainly ask our real estate team and get back to you.
and the third site is 6065.
That's probably about twice the size of the site that you're looking at now, but we wouldn't be very happy about that either, because transportation is minimal. And that's it. And this is going to be for 675 students. I heard you said District 75, which is a regional district,
It's not.
not just necessarily one of our school board districts.
Nope.
Is that correct?
A high school with a D75 component.
District 75 is the special ed district, that's a citywide district.
But, and you may not know this information, I'm just curious, what's the current capacity at South Shore High School, which is already built, which has an enormous additional piece of property that's used as a field right now?
96.
What is the capacity, does anybody know?
They should, they have 1,300 seats available.
No, I mean, how many are in there? I don't know.
896.
896 students?
No, I asked
They're
you
closing the
a couple
second school
reasons.
this
One,
week.
the enormous expense of this kind of a project. The kind of remoteness of the location is a concern for all of us. And of course, certainly the effect it'll have on the local community, which is basically residential. Now, we love schools. We have always fought and advocated for schools in this district, but I'm just kind of concerned because it's, unless I'm mistaken, the student population in New York City, particularly here in Brooklyn, has been diminished greatly in the last few years. We lack students. We have schools with 200 kids in them. PS 114 has 236 kids, that's in Canarsie. Some of the other local public schools really are diminished. And I don't believe our high school, South Shore, which would be an enormously effective location for you without having to spend any money, would probably be able to accommodate 675 students. And I know right now, I think it's a period of school. I think they have like 3 or 4 schools in the building as a complex. So I'm just wondering why that has a feasibility location, what do we consider?
Sure, so the reason we're looking for this is, even if all of your local high schools were fully utilized, we would still be more than 2,000 seats short in South Brooklyn overall, which is why we are here. And I'll tell you, we don't like to build annexes and additions on schools' football, softball fields, because that takes away a resource that that basically eliminates their ability to have a team, and it's also a resource that I'm sure is heavily used by your community. So we don't like to take a regulation-sized field away from a local high school. We try very, very hard not to do that. That's why we are here looking for this new property. I will say thank you for bringing up the residential component of this neighborhood. My favorite thing to say about SCA is that we build schools where families live. So there are students that are coming from this community, and we are more than 2,000 high school seats short, which is why we are here to try to acquire this property.
So you're saying that this is going to be a local school, not a regional school, and it's going to be for students in our community, the surrounding community as part of District 22?
So the superintendent's office might want to speak to this. I think what they shared earlier and what we talked about earlier is that a couple of years before the school would open, district planning, the superintendent's offices, the CEC, the Citywide Council on High Schools, and your community board and your elected officials would convene a series of listening sessions to determine the best programming, including potential screening or other specialty programs or zoning or those kinds of things before the building opens. Those are not decisions that SCA makes. That's something, I don't know if any of the folks from DOE want to speak to that. SCA, we acquire the property, we build the school, and then we like to say we build it, DOE fills it. So that's up to DOE.
Another curious location. I don't know who does the searching for sites, but obviously they certainly are looking at the general area. Like for instance, on Flatlands Avenue between East 57th and East 58th Street, there's a lot that's probably twice the size of this place. It's available for sale or for use in this circumstance. That will create an enormously better location than something like this in the middle of Bergen Beach. And that's on, I mean, again, if you still haven't closed out your sites, or somebody can find this, and maybe when they were driving on Flatlands Avenue, they looked down instead of looking up. And you can see this site, it's right across, 3 blocks from South Shore. It's on a major avenue with plenty of bus service and other venues to be able to get to the site, and will give you an enormously better location than the site you're currently telling us that you select. How do we get you to look at that?
Sure, so I love this question. All of you know your communities better than we do. We have folks who are out. We have contracted real estate brokers in all 5 boroughs. They specialize in each borough that they work in. So this site came to us through our Brooklyn broker who focuses on South Brooklyn. But we solicit sites from the public. You, like I said, all know your communities better than we do. We would be thrilled to accept any site recommendations. Every single one of them is looked at. We ain't building no more land in New York City, so we got to make do with what we've got. So we will take all of your submissions. If you want to give me the address of that site, we will write it down and I will send it to our real estate folks.
And also, by the way, right across the street from this site is the district office for the Board of Education. I don't know if it's 22 or which district it is, but it's a major district office board. Does anybody know what that building is? No, right across the street. The old Glen Chateau is now a Board of Education building. Right, and if you'll let the district manager know how we submit this to you.
Sure,
We'll make
it's,
sure this site would be ideal if you were going to build another school, provided that the geographic location to South Shore doesn't really matter. And also provided that maybe South Shore, which is now underutilized, may be able to accommodate, have an evaluation of whether or not that's available in that building, since it's a school that holds 3,000 students, and I don't believe we have more than 1,800 or 1,900 there at this time.
sure, so the
Oh, wait,
email
wait,
address
the
for.
councilwoman's off,
Oh,
right?
all right.
Yeah.
So she knows what I'm talking about.
The email address for any real estate idea that anyone might have, wherever you are, is sites, SITES.
If you don't mind, give it to, rather than ask, everybody get a pen out, or give it to the district manager.
Yes.
She'll send it out, and we'll all be able to get it in whatever she sends it out on.
Sure.
Google Glam or whatever.
Sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish. It's sites, SITES, at nycsca.org. Thrilled to take any
And
submissions
I do
from
want to
anyone.
point out, we're always welcome in the school, but we want a school in a location that works for the community, not just fixes the community. And I can't think of a I said, let me think of the worst site in all of this end of Brooklyn that we could pick, and you found it.
Thank you, Mr. Sedio. Thank you. That, ladies and gentlemen, was an example of what we do not do at the mic. We don't stand at the mic, and we're not gonna keep going back and forth. Frank often takes a lot of privilege as the former chair, former district manager, former everything. So, no, y'all are laughing, but those who know, it's true, he does. We're gonna, we're gonna have a question from Sue-Ann, and then again, we know the order, board members, and then, members of the public.
I'd like to talk.
So I just need clarification. So you're here for high school, and our superintendent is here up until 8th grade.
On high school as well, high school superintendent representation.
Okay, so, wait, hold on, say that again?
The superintendent.
Superintendent Pryor's office
But
is here.
That's not what I'm talking about. She got up and said that she would like to have young children in a dyslexia program, right? You're, right, which would be K to 8 basically. You're here asking for a high school, which is it?
Sure, so the notice of filing,
Just
I
getting-
said at the beginning of my remarks, we are not in the business of bait and switch. Notice of filing was for a high school. SCA would acquire the property for a high school. We would design and construct for a high school. As I also mentioned, during community listening sessions, if it became apparent that DOE had a different, more appropriate use for the building based on the community's needs, based on the community's feedback, how DOE ultimately chooses to use the building is up to the DOE.
Okay, so if the community board were to vote down having high school at this location, then District 22 Superintendent, K through 8, would have the opportunity to ask for that property to house children with disability.
So right now in District 22, in this part of District 22, we have not been seeking real estate for those grade bands because we are not in the same need on this side of the district for seats as we are on the north side of your district. Is that right?
So for general education, the north end is definitely overcrowded and we're in dire need. Talk about finding different locations. I'm driving around looking at empty lots and I'm writing it down, sending it to sites. What I spoke about is district-wide need, and what I was told today is that once the building is open, that the community then helps us shape what comes in.
It's actually even a couple of years before the building opens. It's so that when the building opens, it's reflective of the community's need.
Okay, thank you so much. I saw a hand, Bergen Beach.
Yeah, I'll surrender my spot to Mike.
Thank you. Mike Trotter is the president of Bergen Beach Civic.
Civic president of Bergen Beach. We had this conversation last week. There are a few concerns in Bergen Beach. The blocks in which that parcel sits on are the two main thoroughfares into Bergen Beach, Veterans Avenue and Avenue U. A few years back, DOT came in and destroyed those thoroughfares. They narrowed them severely, that the city buses can't pass each other at the same time on Avenue U without having a head-on collision if they tried. Veterans Avenue, is no better when you get towards St. Bernard and Roy H. Mann. They are bus routes for B3, B41, and the BM1, okay? There is a ton of traffic over there as it is. It's all residential on three sides of it, plus a church on the fourth side. It's just not a good location all around. The other problem is that in speaking to a few people last week, there's no guarantee that the kids from the community will even get into that school. You know what I mean? So we're gonna build it for our community, but there's no guarantee that the kids from the community are gonna use it, or can use it, because they may be shipped out. So, I mean, the whole thing just sounds like garbage. We in Bergen Beach, I think, would consider, maybe a specialty school. And listen, I'd have to take it back to my community, but maybe a specialty school with, kindergarten through fifth for special needs, special learning, which was talked about earlier, and then when we came in this room, that all disappeared. We were told like 160 kids with dyslexia and autism and so on and so forth. If you have any thoughts of a high school on that location for the neighborhood, for all the communities around it, it's a hard no. It's never gonna fly, okay? The community will fight tooth and nail to make sure it doesn't fly. However, we are reasonable, so if there is a school of some sort, again, K through 5 that have special needs and, programs, we would definitely be interested in that. And we would want a seat at the table to talk about design of the school, what it would look like. How is it aesthetically gonna fit in with our community? If we can't have that, even on that level, then no, it just won't work. So we can talk, but we also need assurances that what our neighborhood represents now and the character of our neighborhood is gonna stay the way it is. We fought very, very hard, many, many years to do that. And we're not opposed to change, but it's gotta be the right change, and that is definitely not the right change. And speaking for Mr. Sedio, he's 100% right. Canarsie High School is underutilized, South Shore is underutilized, Sheepshead's underutilized, and there's the property on Coyle Street that they wanna put a homeless shelter. Why don't you put a school there? There's plenty of room there for that. You can give a high school, you could do a real high school, not a 675 seat high school. I don't even know what that looks like. I can't even picture it in my brain. That's like a half a school, not even, I don't even know what that is.
Wouldn't be our first 676 seat high school.
Yeah, but obviously you don't spend money properly. I mean, if you got the property, build it right and do it right. So, I mean, I'm not looking to attack you, but.
I think you might just.
No, but it is what it is. It's common sense. There's plenty of common sense.
That'd be nice, so the
There's not much
people-
common sense coming out of that proposal.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Gotta be nice,
I want to just, for clarity's sake, did we last week clarify that South Shore is actually not in the district? Is that a thing? But it's a high school though, so, because the question was asked, and I was looking back at my notes and I didn't see a clear answer there. So it's a part of the Brooklyn South.
It's in District 18.
It is District 18, okay. Thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna, you said that you were giving up your time.
You yield, no.
You yielded your time, because we have to get to questions. Are you gonna say something different? Are you gonna say something different than what he just said?
So I want to say, first of all, to our District 22 and District 18, Community Road 18 has two great districts. And our Superintendent, Julie Beauvais, and the ED of District 22 and the team, parents, and many of us, we are a product of District 22. If you're a product of District 22, just raise your hand. If you went there, look at this. Kids, parents. So I don't think any of us are against the kids. We're all kid-friendly. programs, things, activities, but the location again is, location again is outrageous. And again, I'll say this because I went to Madison, 2 blocks, Sheepshead Bay, 2 blocks, everything's 2 blocks. You pick the triangle that is the worst triangle, as Mr. Sedio said, and Mike said, in the world, and no one here is against the school. It's the location that is outrageous. I challenge you, and I said to you earlier, I said, have you really gone and just walked around the block? Today there were 7 buses parked there. 2 on Avenue U, 3 on Veterans Avenue, and then you had another 2 on 70th Street. They were just parked because that's the end of it. So how are we getting the kids in the building if there's buses all around it, and it's the end stop to all of those bus lines that Mike said? On top of that, again, you have only 3 ways to get out of Bergen Beach for residents. Avenue U, Avenue T, and Veterans Avenue. And if you want to go the back way, you go Bergen, but most people come this way. So you shut down everything. So how are we getting the kids in there? And especially kids, and Julia, I speak to you because I'm pro kids. How are we really getting the school buses in there? Because with special kids, you need special buses. So how are we doing this? The location, horrible. We want the school. Find this location. As Mr. Sedio said, we'll give you locations. So community, send them locations. Thank you.
Yes, please send us locations. With respect to the busing, I will say this. We build schools in every corner of New York City. We build schools where families live. There's buses, there's bus depots, there's bus routes, there's lots of bus routes, there's school buses, there's minibuses, there's accessoride, there's taxis of all shapes, size, stripe, and color. We work really closely with MTA, with DOT. We work really closely with everybody that we need to work with to ensure that there's a safe route for kids to get to school and that there's flow of traffic around all of our schools. Those are things that we work through in design. I am not standing here to tell you this is going to be the easiest site for us to build on. It's definitely not. But this is New York City. It's almost more easy. There are no more easy sites. And these are all things that we work on every single day. We just opened a 3,000 seat high school on Northern Boulevard in Queens. It's very busy, lots of buses.
Northern Boulevard.
It's
Northern Boulevard.
But my point is that we do this. And I understand Northern Boulevard is different, but the point that I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of traffic there, and we get the kids in and we get the kids out, and it's safe, and the buses get through and the cars get through, and this is what we do. And I'm confident that in our abilities to navigate that for this site as well.
Thank you so much. Okay, we've been, a little loosey-goosey here, but everything seems to be all right. But I feel like there's some restlessness in the room now, right? So we got to really stick to questions are posed to the chair, and then I will ask you to give your answer. One question, and that's it. We know what the recommendation of the committee is, right? So we all heard what the recommendation of the committee was, right? Okay, so we don't need repetition. We are moving into questions. One question will be asked. I will direct school construction to answer the question, and then that's it. We're not going to do a bunch of follow-up questions after that. Are we all on the same page here? All right, I know. We have 2 board members. Are there any other board members with questions? No more board members? All right, so Jamal, you'll be the final board member. Nigel, please go. State your name and then move on.
Hey, how you doing? My name is... Hello? You can hear me?
Yes. You're on.
Hey, how you doing? My name
Yes,
is
we hear
Nigel
you.
Dupree, Community Board Member 18. I have a question, but let me have a statement. Sorry if you feel like he was being attacked, because I feel like he was being attacked also. So I apologize for that. I guess the location, the way they break down the location, I can agree with that.
It's always something.
But any opportunity is to invest in our kids and build a new school with new technology and new resources. Why would we want to go to an old building that doesn't have that? Or we couldn't start that? So I appreciate your proposal. But other than the location, I'm with you. I don't know why if we voting to shut down the location and make them come back if they have another location, great. But other than that, we want to invest in our kids in Canarsie. And my question is, he said our kids might not have access to that. Can you follow up on that question? Will the kids in the neighborhood have access to the school if it's built? I guess that was my question.
Yeah, it's not Canarsie, Nigel, it's Bergen Beach.
It's Bergen Beach.
Mhm.
And that's what I mean. I'm not,
Right,
I'm not,
so this is District
not the location, I'm just
22, not
saying, the Bergen Beach kids, well, is it not a public school where the kids in the neighborhood has access to it? Because from my perception, when he was talking, he made it seem like the kids in Bergen Beach wouldn't have even access to it.
What's the question? Nigel, restate the question.
So it's not like a public in the district.
Hi, Nigel, this is what we can't do. What's the question? Can you just ask it again?
I was saying,
I'm not clear.
will the kids in Bergen Beach, if this high school is built, will the kids have access to apply for it?
Okay, thank you. The answer to that is yes. I don't need y'all to answer that. We know the answer to that is yes. Yeah, everyone can apply. All right. So everyone can apply, and correct me, DOE folks, if I'm wrong. Everyone can apply, but people who live within the district get priority.
It's supposed to be illegal. Yeah, that's supposed to be illegal. That's supposed to be illegal.
We had this conversation last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be lottery.
And we don't know exactly what program it will be yet, so we can't really answer that. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that, Deputy Sue.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Jamal Corral, board member. For my question, I want to know if we're following with the motion as is and we vote no, is there a chance that there won't be a backup location proposed? I need to know that, or I think that's important because a lot of times we talk about the things that are coming to the community, and normally I understand that property angle, traffic angle, but to be perfectly honest, there's a lot of things that we use that same argument for. The shelters, the bars, the businesses, we use the same thing. And typically, I do have a great understanding for that. But if we're talking about children, and if I'm understanding the proposal as it was written, there's currently no school in Bergen Beach as it pertains to high schools. I'm just a little bit confused in this particular case. Why are we okay with just voting no for a school? It's one thing if we're gonna attach that with a request for them to come back with another location, but if we're just saying flatly no for an area that we're also saying has 0 schools, but it's the same community board that comes and talks about kids not having recreational centers, enough places to go, well, it's a school. So I would think this is the place for the kids to go. This is a place to work for the programming, especially because we don't have the requisite community centers and stuff for the children. So that's my question. If we vote no, does that mean that there's a chance that they just don't come back with any location? Because if we're talking about just jet setting a school just because we're worried about traffic, when we're the same community board that talks about the same things for just basic business, basic shelters and all of that, I think that's the wrong approach. It needs to be attached with some kind of comeback for additional locations so we can fully evaluate, are we just saying no to everything, or are we just saying, is this an alternative location kind of conversation?
So before I repeat the question, I just want to be clear because you mentioned that there are no schools, there are no public schools. So we just want to make sure that we say no public high schools. That's what he's talking about. There are no public high schools in Bergen Beach. Or Old Mill Basin. Yeah, there are no public, no, because just now when you were speaking, you said there are no schools, but that was part of the issue, is that there are so many schools in the area, which is what the committee, why the committee recommended the way that they did. But if we're talking about public schools, no, we do not have any public schools. Public high schools.
For Bergen Beach, there's no high schools.
Public, because this is School Construction Authority, an arm of the DOE. They're only speaking about public schools. They're not talking about private parochial, religious. Those don't count. Only public schools.
Okay, so I'll correct
But it's fine. Your question is still the same. I just wanted to be clear because, people hear it repeat. So the question is, if this does not pass tonight, will you return with another location within the district?
So we can certainly try, but we are subject to the same real estate forces that the rest of the city is subject to. I am not at this moment aware of other sites that we are pursuing in this geography. It is possible that if we don't receive approval for this site, that we may not be able to secure another site in this area for some time. I do not know. That is something that I cannot answer. What I will say is that our new schools do very often become hubs of community. They are fully electric, they are fully accessible. Very often the gyms and other things like that get used for after hours activities. This would be a high school sized competition gym, lots of opportunities there. But as far as other locations, I don't have another one in my back pocket, and I don't know what the real estate inventory in this area that is appropriate for high school might look like.
Thank you. I guess for my fellow residents, I would just say, it's not for me to speak on your individual living circumstances. I don't live exactly where the school is going to be, but just being in this community board and hearing arguments over the years, I would just ask you to take a moment and evaluate the whole thing. Are you ready? Because when this potential site becomes the next battery plant or one of these other things, then let's not come back and now say, oh, it can have a better use. All I'm saying is evaluate the whole thing for what it is. Traffic is going to be traffic. We live in New York City.
Thank you, Jamal. Rob, and then if we have any members of the public, Rob is finished, members of the public, if you have questions, not expressions of support or non-support, questions only, please line up behind Rob.
So real quick, you didn't acquire this site yet, right? So there's no guarantee that you're gonna acquire the site. The need for the school is here, correct? So if we vote no on this site, the need for the school is still here, correct? And Frank has identified at least one other site that you are not aware of in this neighborhood that might be better for that, correct? And he also identified a lot behind South Shore that might also be beneficial, correct? So am I correct to say that you want to build in this community because the need is here, and there might be other sites that would be available that you're not aware of?
There's no lot behind South Shore.
The one from which I don't want to get back.
It's a football field.
57 to 58.
No.
But if we vote no to this, the need is still here, so your mission is to find a location for the school, correct? Okay, I have no further.
Thank you. Start with your name, please.
Good evening, Miriam, HES. Just a quick question. Would you be able to explain for those who aren't familiar what the difference is between D75 and other disability programs in schools?
I will take a stab. If anyone from the pedagogical team would like to jump in, that would be great. From SCA's perspective, when we build a D75 space, generally speaking, we have things like changing rooms, extra sensory equipment, smaller classrooms that support smaller staff ratios that enable there to be multiple paraprofessionals in the room with the educator to really meet the needs of whatever the D75 student population in that building might be. If someone from the educator team wants to jump in on that, that would be great. Thank you.
Sure. So in District 22, we have multiple D75 schools. If anyone is from 203 community, 236, not too far from here, the D75 is just a collaboration. It's a co-located school setup whereby students who are with an IEP, an individual education plan that deserve more, and that means that maybe in a special class, but there's also the opportunity where if they excel and they truly can learn in the general ed setting, there's the opportunity to have intervisitation, if you will, from D75 to the general ed school. Just to give you an example, when I go to 236, not too far from here on Avenue U and 63rd, students who excel, let's say in math, leave D75 and they go into the 4th grade, 5th grade class of 236 to learn mathematics. And that could be the same of any particular subject, whether it be science, ELA, and so forth. So in the site that you heard of from school construction, the D75 that they're speaking of is that collaboration between general education and the D75. I just want to, now that I have the floor, if I could just 10 more seconds. The school has not yet been identified. The site has been identified. What you hear is that all of you will have insight and questions and input into what programs come in. So I just ask you to think about what I spoke about before, about the need that we have in D22. That could be a program that could be part of this entity. And so if it is bought by school construction, if it comes to the DOE, that would be a program that all of you can help me design for the students and the families that we have here in D22.
Thank you, Superintendent Beauvais. Hi, please come to the mic. Start with your name.
My name is Jade Anna. I lived in Brooklyn my entire life. I've attended public school. I was a public school teacher for many years and left. I think an important point to make is that we don't want our schools to reach maximum capacity. That is too much for children, that's too much for the teachers, and that is why it's becoming increasingly hard to be a teacher in a public school in New York City. I love public schools, I want to support them, and I care deeply about the programming. So whether this becomes a high school or an elementary school, I want there to be something that's going to prepare children for life. I want to know where trade schools are, where are the programmings that are really going to prepare children for the world and connect them to their communities. We have McGuire Fields, we have part of the Basin Park, we have Ecology Park. There's a lot of really amazing assets in the community that I don't think we're taking advantage of, that aren't cared for. Whether or not I think that this would be an ideal site, I don't really know. I see an empty lot, I want to make it a garden, I want to make it a farm, but that seems to be the most important. But yeah, my main concern is programming and how much say will be as the community be able to input in like what's offered for our students.
The question is, how much input will community have on the programming in the school? Jade, what community do you live in?
I live in Bergen now.
Oh, in Bergen Beach? All right,
Yeah.
thanks. All right, how much?
So this is a great question for the deputy superintendent, but I'll just repeat what I know of the general process. A couple of years before the school opens, the Office of District Planning, it's full of kids drawing, it starts engaging with your local CEC, superintendent's offices, community boards, community members, your elected officials, to start talking about shaping the school environment from an enrollment perspective, from a zoning perspective, from a programming perspective, all of those kinds of things. Those conversations take place in the 1 to 2 years before we open the doors on a brand new school. But I'll let you flesh that out a little more.
Yes, so again, there's a multi-year process that's involved with also what's called district planning, who also takes over and does enrollment planning with the city, admissions planning, and also goes into what exactly does the school look like, what programs may be open. There's engagement steps along the way. I think as Superintendent Beauvais said, she continues to advocate for the needs of the K-8 space in the district. And so there would be community input over time. And I think this is really about, once again, the location of this, not what actually is going to happen in the school. The proposal, of course, was and is at this time for a high school. But even within that process, all of those steps around priority admissions for the district or the borough, or specific programs that you may apply to enter into, or even the facilities themselves that may be built out to support specific programs, are part of an ongoing process that solicits community input as well. Okay?
All right, thank you so much. Christina, you're standing to, and then are you also going to ask? Just okay. So Christina's going to be the last member of the community to ask a question. We've been on this since 7:15 p.m. Thank you. Start with your name and the neighborhood you live in.
Hi, I live in Bergen Beach. My name is Lydia Esposito. Just have a quick question. I'm doing all these studies, but I just want it to be taken into consideration. I am a parent of an 8th grader and of a sophomore in high school. My daughter attends Madison. It is chaotic when these high school kids, and nothing against high school kids that have one, high school kids driving, especially age, or causing havoc, or whatever high school kids do, which is normal. You have
have 5 schools in the same small area. Dismissal is the same time, plus high school kids, they get out at different times. Do you guys take into consideration, how are you gonna tackle that part of it? I know you're just the construction part. I just want it to be taken into consideration that we all have to worry about our children that are now walking the streets. Because we have children from 3rd grade on walking, this causes a big issue for us. Because like Mr. Trotter said, the area is already small as it is, it's congested. Do you guys have this, and is this taken into consideration?
So yes and no, right? We are subject to the real estate market. So if we identify an empty parcel that is for sale that we can purchase, we tend to jump on it. We work, like I said, closely with DOT on traffic and things like that. We have had situations in certain parts of the city where there's a density of schools in an area, and we work with the operations team at DOE to adjust arrival and dismissal time so that they're a little bit staggered if that's what needs to happen to facilitate things being smooth. We have definitely done that in a couple of areas that I know of around the city. But in general, we are looking for large parcels of land, and sometimes they're available next to pre-existing schools and sometimes they're not.
Thank you for that answer. And I'm gonna tell you, like I told the folks last week in the committee meeting, we have beef with DOT and DEP. So if they ever tell you something and you have to come back before us, don't tell us what they said. Tell them to come here and tell us. Christina?
Hi, thank you. So you're as a parent and no Basin Civic, and I have a question and a comment. Oh, loud. Wait, I never hear that. Go louder, because I'm like something like you guys know me came across. So most of you know me from the Civic, and I just want to say 2 things. Well, we made it very clear the site would not be the best. Our kids deserve the best. So I'm going to have a question at the end. So my son has dyslexia. We're District 22, we live here, and he has to go to another borough every day. He leaves the house 6:20 in the morning because the district is unable to meet the needs. So he's in 3rd grade, and what the problem is, and I just explained this, I know we all don't want junior high and high schools. I'm gonna need a junior high and high school, guys, at some point. I'm going to end up in debt. I'm going to have to sue and to be able to get a Carter's case for the DOE so I can pay for Mary McDowell Windward. I don't wanna do that. I want my son to be able to go to a local school. So I know that this site might not be ideal, but I need you guys I'm your neighbor. You guys see me everywhere. I do everything. I email, like, you all know me. And I'm asking you, if another site comes up, to please be receptive and think about this. When you say, oh, put him in an old building, you're talking about my kid. So you're talking about me. You're talking about the Caputo family, 5063rd. And when I went to 203, I'm your neighbor, guys. So when you say these things, you're talking about a person who has always had every one of your backs. So I'm asking for you to think about that when we get off that. I want the superintendents to explain how the unintended consequence of class size law got us here. Can you maybe just explain that? And I'm hopefully moving forward, that's my question. Can you explain why we have a need and the unintended consequence? And hopefully we can find something better.
Thank you, Christina. That was brave. That was brave of you to speak against the recommendation of the committee, which is the reason that I said I would like to have parents here. And I think you've changed, right? Because last week you were no, and now.
Necessarily go with the site, but we can't be anti-middle school kids and anti-high school kids, because I need it for middle and high school, and so does half the row and other people. So I respect the site decision, but we really need to be open-minded about language-based learning disabilities and public schools and moving forward and finding a space. And my kid deserves a new building. My kid deserves what we all have.
Thank you for that. And I'm going to ask you, Deputy Superintendent, since we're moving into like class size now, that's going to open up a whole other subject. We're going to keep this one brief. Thank you.
Yes, I'll try to keep it brief. So I actually think this is more to do with the desirability of District 22 schools in general than it does necessarily with the new class size reduction law. That has certainly put a strain on schools and caused for the need for more space, but most of our high schools have been able to accommodate that by going to more sessions, right? So many of you have mentioned, someone mentioned going to Madison. That's an increased number of periods of the day, right? And that way you create more time for kids. I think what we really continue to see is an excessive desirability of District 22 schools. And that has created, along with zones, right? Madison's a zone, you live in that zone, you are entitled to a seat there. The overcrowding in many of those schools. And so it's a desirable district. And even across all of the schools, I think that's an ongoing trend that predates the class size reduction. It's not going to get any better with class size reduction unless we build more buildings as well. And so it's not something that's going away, but I also would say this predates that as well, okay? Because of the desirability and the large population density in District 22 of school-aged children, all right?
Thank you so much. And before we move into our vote, we don't hear from her too often, but our secretary does have something to say.
I have something to say. So, after 35 years being involved in schools and meeting with the committees, CSA, principals, being very heavily involved, once you make this vote, and I understand what Ms. Beauvais wants, so her agenda is K to A, dyslexia, and other programs. But once you vote on this, and the high school is attached to it, I'm telling you now, not one person in this room will ever get past that. Side after this is what's gonna happen. You have no say in anything that Board of Education, CSA, or anybody, SEA, will do. So just remember, when you vote, you've given up everything after that. There are no changes, you have no say, no one's gonna listen to you. Because you're not part of CSA, you're not SEA, you're not part of Board of Education, you have no say. Just be fearful.
Thank you for that, Barbara. And I think that dynamic is one of the existing issues why we are here. Ms. Porter, Ms. Fender, thank you so much. You guys gave an amazing presentation. Thanks for it wasn't easy. I appreciate it. And a lot of it, the anger and the vitriol, you guys are receiving it because you're here representing SCA, but it has nothing to do with you, right? But in so many years prior, so many projects prior, commitments are made, promises are made, and then people don't keep them. So, now we are here. But we heard you loud and clear. We heard from the superintendents as well that prior to the school opening, there will be community input. I will also say that at our committee meeting last week, the presentation is a little bit different from the committee meeting that we had last week. So last week, we were not talking about programming at all. And SCA did make a promise to us that they would take our questions and our concerns and come back with actual answers this week, and they did. So I do want to thank you for that. While the secretary is preparing for the roll call vote, I typically don't vote or wait until the end. I don't vote so I can be impartial, but I do wait until the end if a vote is needed from me to break the tie. However, because of CEC appointment, I will be recusing myself completely from this vote tonight. So I hope that we don't end up with an even split because we won't be able to break that tie. So let us proceed with a roll call vote. Do I need to repeat the question? I'm going to repeat the question. The committee is recommending that we do not. Oh, you wanted to speak before that? All right, council member who represents the area.
Good evening, everyone.
Mike.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here to listen, and we talk about different site for the community, which is very important because if this site doesn't work, I heard it in the room, we don't want to lose out completely because our children need the services and the resources in our community. I got that. I heard it of parents, which is our neighbors, our friends, part of our lives, and live in Bergen Beach. So those are the things that we have to weigh all the time in life. Nothing is easy, but the folks that live a very close proximity to the site talking about how things have been very difficult. And I can hear Paul say that we are very friendly. He can say that. He has the right to say that. Because he has all the after-school program, he has all the children. But having said all that, it's an opportunity to build a new thing. So now, how do we gonna do the search We heard it. There's site available in our district, right? But I don't know, because we never talk about the money part. I don't know how much is the budget. What is it that we need? Those are all the things after we send you all the email. Maybe if we know the price, since Frank Serio is an expert in real estate here, can make his profit, maybe he can look into it and run with it and bring us a site for the approximate, whatever the money that we will need to spend on the school. I don't want to make the joke, but that's the truth. And the Frank knows the district. If you say how much money you're going to spend, he will do the search for you. But having said all that, we are a reasonable community as well. Despite all the yelling and screaming, I think what the testimony that Christina just put on the table, I have faith in you guys that we're gonna collaborate together and we're coming with a plan, because if she's your neighbor, she's your friend, she works in this community, then she needs it, because not only Christina is only one voice, but she's talking, there's a lot, many, because when I spoke to the superintendent, there's a lot of folks in our community that need the services that being offered. But having said that, Barbara stated something for us too, saying that after the bill, we're not gonna have no say over it. So now there is a lot of things here, moving particles that we need to address. So now how are we gonna sit with our superintendent and see what are the needs that we need, and we can call the shot for our community and address the needs for our community. So SCA need to build, so we need to know how much money that we are talking about, because we have many lots around here. So having said all that, I'm here to represent you. Apparently the board already advised. So me, I'm just here as a great listener, even though I was trying to do my emails, but to make sure that whatever that we need to do together to build this community, not, breaking those folks that we send on their shoulder that invested a lot of time, a lot of money in this community, but we work collaboratively together. We have to collaborate, guys. At the end of the day, what is the best for us? And I rely on my superintendent, the high school, and we can come back. Whatever the vote is happening this evening, is that a finished things? We have to continue it, because we need to help Christina out and many more neighbors in our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman. So the motion on the floor is that we oppose the construction of the new high school located at 7001 Avenue U. So I want to be clear. The motion is that we oppose. So if you vote yes in affirmative, that means you are voting with the committee that we oppose the construction. If you vote no, that means you do not agree with the committee and you want to have the construction of the high school, okay? So everyone understands? Board members understand what we're saying, right? Okay, don't understand, Nigel?
I say something about having Jamie.
No, Nigel, it's a question about how we're voting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, is it too late to table it and then reword it?
No.
Okay, no problem, thank you.
Well, I mean, technically, we don't need to reword it though, because that's where we are.
We're opposing the site, not the school. Right.
We have a representative from Assembly Member Jamie Williams' office that wants to speak about this thing right here.
God help me, Christ.
Good evening, Donald Cranston from Assembly Member Jamie Williams' office. Jamie was here at the planning committee last week. We wrote a letter to Nina Cavuto from the School Construction Authority. She's the president of the School Construction Authority, giving all of the issues that were brought up at that meeting. I just find it curious that the SCA keeps saying that they didn't do programming, but they're gonna put a state-of-the-art gymnasium in the building, which the site itself is 29,000 square feet. A state-of-the-art gymnasium is 12,000 square feet. The thing is a triangle, so you're gonna go down the middle. The gymnasium is 2 stories high. How big is the building gonna be? And on behalf of Jamie, I just wanna say, whatever the community wants, Jamie was 100% community. And that's all I got.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, while he was speaking, we are going to just go ahead and restate the motion, which, so here's what we're going, this is why I always say we don't move a negative, because it does become confusing. So, Mr. Committee Chair, I'm gonna ask you to withdraw your motion.
Okay.
I know what the recommendation of the committee is, right? So we know the recommendation is a no. I'm gonna ask that you withdraw your motion, and then I'm gonna ask that someone makes a motion that we approve it.
Approve of what?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Can any board member can move that we approve the high school?
So she could change the question, so she could change the
I need a board
question.
member to approve it. Chris Smith is moving it reluctantly, right? And Sarah Henderson, well, Sarah already seconded it. All right, so now, there's a motion on the floor that we approve SCA's presentation on a proposed high school site at 7001 Avenue U. So a vote yes means that you want to see this happen. A vote no, I don't want to see it happen. Very clear. Everyone
Could you
understand?
explain what the committee recommends
The
too?
committee recommends that we do not. Yeah, I think everyone
So
had
what's
that.
the vote no?
Recommends that we do not move forward. Now, without further ado, Madam Secretary, please proceed with a roll call vote.
She just wants it to be.
Cassandra Alvarez,
Yes.
Johnny Asentelis,
No.
Mohammed Aziz, Felina Becker, Alan Bash,
No.
Barbara Bieber, no. Greg Baruso,
No.
Roosevelt Borscott, Gardy Pizzella, Andrenia Burgess,
Yes.
Lisa Calendar Wilson, Jamal Carrill,
Yes.
Kimberly Koch,
Yes.
Charmaine Corny Antoine,
Yes.
Donna Mae Crossfield, Paul Curiali,
No.
Gil Siegler,
No.
Marie Deleuze,
No.
Stanley Delva, Nigel Dupree,
Yes.
Ariel Freeman, Maria Garrett, Denise Gordon, Denise Gordine, Francesca Griffith,
Yes.
Sarah Hendricks,
No.
No, Sarah?
Correct, no.
Thank you. Thomas Hernandez Jr.,
No.
Kenny Jean Baptiste, Naomi Lear,
No.
Rob Mizuchin,
No.
O'Meal Morgan, Dudley Placeval,
Yes.
David Price, Elaine Reed, Yolaine Rador, Michelle Seeley, Frank Sedio,
I'm sorry, but I want to be clear, yes is
Why? No, you want to know.
No is you don't want it. Yes, you want. I think you stepped out. We did a whole thing.
no, okay. Akis Sinisi,
No.
Christopher Smith,
Abstain.
Victoria Stennett, Julia Stoops,
Abstain.
Annette Tomlin, Jennifer Troman,
No.
Mike Trotter,
No.
Arnell Williams,
Yes.
Shireen Williams, Maria Willis,
No.
Valerie Woodford, Grace Willenberg, Yolaine Rador. Where'd Yolaine go? Could you see if she's out in the hall? Elaine.
Yolaine.
Yolaine Rador. Yolaine Rador. She left? Okay.
You know what? You know, I mean, do we want to put that out?
Yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah,
Because I don't know who sent it to me.
No, I had all this information. I gave it out tonight. I just gave it out.
No, it's early today, but I don't know who sent it.
Thank you so much. So with 11 yeses, 3 abstentions, and 19 noes, the motion fails. We will not be supporting the proposed high school at 7001. Thank you so much to the Construction Authority. Thank you, Mark, for our, thank you, RTOE reps who are also here.
There's no, I don't see any.
Okay. Where's Luke? 8:40 p.m. All right, we're gonna, DCWP is not here, right? Oh, they are. Come on. Come on. Oh, look at all these folks leaving. You guys were only here for the school vote? I thought it's because this is my birthday month. Did y'all at least bring gifts?
Birthday month. Yeah, we bought you
Let's give it a
lollipops.
second. Let's let it calm down in here first. Wait, let's give it a second so we get it settled.
Can I go with everyone else? Take me with you, ladies. Take me here.
Out of here. Everybody's out of here. So everybody's out of here. We did the vote and then everybody's gone. Everybody's like, yo, we came here for what we came here.
All right, folks, the meeting
We
is
out.
still in session, so I'm going to ask us to exit quietly. Those who are staying till the end would like us to get moving.
Yes, please.
Where's Maria? Where's David Price? It's the New Year's, right? I haven't seen them.
All right, you can start. Thanks.
Hi everybody, my name is Ali. I'm with the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. Not talking about schools, I'm talking about taxes. Another fun topic, right? We all gotta pay taxes pretty soon. New York City wants to make it easier for everybody. So we have the New York City Free Tax Prep Program to help working class New Yorkers and eligible business owners file their taxes free of cost.
Someone speaking up front.
Yeah, so if you're single and make less than $68,000, our free providers can help you file. If you're a family with dependents, that number jumps to $97,000 or less. If you're a small business owner with expenses of less than $250,000, you can file your taxes free of cost with our providers. We have over 140 sites throughout New York City, so I really, really highly encourage everyone to make an appointment and then get your taxes done for free. Why did we start this program? We want New Yorkers to access the assets, the wealth, the many tax credits the federal government and the state government offers. We want them to claim all of it fully, right? So that's how it started. We want to help New Yorkers build wealth and do it in a way where they're avoiding predatory tax preparers. Well, in my job, I've met many folks who go to preparers who take thousands of dollars, percentages of refunds. Again, not legal for them to do. But it's important for you guys to know all of that. You are conduits of the community, right? You all are gonna go out there and share this information, I hope. Yes. And so I just quickly wanted to introduce myself as well. Ali, I'm the new Brooklyn liaison for the department. So if you have any consumer or worker related concerns, I could be one of your contacts that you reach out to. So happy to do that. And then finally, you can learn more about us and make an appointment by calling 311 and then also going to nyc.gov/taxprep. All right, everybody, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I know it's pretty tight, right? So
Can you give us
thank you, everybody.
Can you give it to us one more time? NYC.
nyc.gov/taxprep. And also just a final thing, I'm open to do presentations about common tax fraud scams that people fall for, as well as giving more detailed information about our program. We go into communities, give presentations, make appointments, especially for elected officials as well. We work with our elected partners. So yeah, I'm gonna leave some card in the front as well as some brochures. So if you guys ever need me in the community, I'm happy to go out there.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ali.
everybody.
We're gonna get back in contact with you because we would love to have one of those full presentations here on a night that we don't have here.
Ali.
69th precinct.
I will chase it. Okay.
He's gonna bring it up, man.
Take the mic.
$5 for that.
Good evening, everybody.
You do.
You can pick it up.
Yeah, talk right on top of it.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. My name is Sergeant Hassan. I'm the supervisor for the nighttime P team.
Closer.
The 69th precinct covers majority of Canarsie.
Closer. Gotta get it right on top.
You guys hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah, talk on it.
Sorry. I'm the supervisor for the 69th precinct quality team. So we basically just do things like 3-in-1 jobs, quality of life offenses, or driveway enforced. It's also quality of life offenses you see on the street, people smoking marijuana in vehicles, stuff like that. Recent things we've enforced were grand larcenies of cars that can happen on Foster Avenue. There's a lot of trucks that are parked there, abandoned vehicles like that. Recently did a tow out there, we removed a lot of those vehicles along that area. So I just wanted to really introduce myself really quickly. If you guys have any concerns or anything like that, call 311, put in your complaints over there. We'll go over there to enforce it. There's a team on the daytime, and my team's on the nighttime.
Thank you. What was your name again?
Sergeant Hassan.
Sergeant Hassan, thank you so much. And who's with you?
These are my officers, Officer Lopez and Officer Rodriguez.
Lopez and Reyes. Next. Huh?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Lord, I'm over here making stuff up. I'm sorry. All right, thank you so much. Did somebody say contact 911?
311.
That was funny. I had a birthday. I'm grown now. Y'all not gonna be talking to me any old way.
Happy birthday.
Your cards?
Do you have cards?
I can leave my email for you guys if you want. Should I give it to you?
You don't have any cards on you?
I have cards, I just gotta write them in there.
Oh, okay. We'll make sure the information gets out.
Okay, I'll give it to you when I'm done here and I'll take it to my
Okay, one question, Maureen.
I tell you something, you keep this email.
Oh, this is about the kids in the McDonald's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
So as of today, I recently am in charge of now the youth program, which is involving the schools and stuff. So this is my first time hearing about that. So I will. Okay.
Sergeant Hassan, do y'all still have build-a-block things?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
They can though.
I'm gonna look into that for you and I'll find out. So like I said, I just today became in charge of the youth program and also the traffic program. So I'm gonna be up to date with all that stuff and speak to the previous supervisor and see what the concerns were and what they were doing about it. And then the next meeting I'll come and have an answer.
All right, thank you so much. All right.
It was changing now.
Next. Oh, I'm next. All right, good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. 21 days in, but it's still the new year.
That's right.
As we begin our January meeting, as we continue our January meeting, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that this month holds special significance for many people in our community board community and in our broader community with the observance of several Divine Nine Founders Day. We recognize Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'll wait for your claps.
No, sorry. We have to.
Thank you so much. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But we do have members here that are members of that sorority, so congratulations. These moments remind us of long-standing legacies of service, leadership, and civic engagement that continue to shape communities across this city and beyond. As we start this year, which you can see by the agenda, not necessarily in practice, but there was an intention to have shorter meetings, more focused meetings like we did in December, right? Because that was very amazing. So I do look forward to continuing that. I recognize that tonight was, I want to say, an aberration, like not really, like, but according to the agenda, it was, because we thought we would be able to get a lot of what we discussed today out at our committee meeting last week, which we did. We definitely did. I appreciate when I ask folks to not get up and restate the opposition that had already been stated, like we're only here for questions. I think that we did that, and I'm really proud of all of you, because I know a lot of times, every single person wants to speak. But as we continue in this year, I hope that we remain intentional for how we show up for this work, how we show up for one another. Again, this meeting was an example of a lot of different varied opinions, but respectful, which is something that I really appreciate. I also appreciate that people voted with their hearts and their conscience, as opposed to just going along. Like, folks vote for we cast our votes for many different reasons, but it's imperative that we vote how we really feel. It is imperative that if we are leaders on our blocks and in our communities, that we vote how we feel, we vote how our neighbors feel. This is a 50-member board. Very rarely do we have 50 people in attendance. I think we had about 28, 29 here at our highest peak tonight. And there are like 170,000 people in the community. So the 26 of us that were here are representing that whole 170,000. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your service. Thank you for remaining grounded in respect. Thank you for collaborating, and for the shared commitment that we all share in this community. Much appreciated. Community board applications are out. If you are up for reappointment this term, please complete it. If you are a brand new person that's interested in serving on the board, please complete it. I want to address something, a DEP situation. Many folks received a letter from DEP talking about gutters that were connected to the city's sewer system. Raise your hand if you received that letter. All right, so a lot of us got that letter. Our assembly member, Jamie Williams, who's not here right now, she did make a statement about the letter, and she has been personally in contact with DEP. The DEP commissioner, she's a Brooklyn girl. She's been here before. She's a great person. I'm just gonna give her an excerpt of what the assembly member said. We were assured that DEP's intent in sending these notices was to inform and educate. The goal is to encourage homeowners to voluntarily take steps to disconnect their gutters if they are currently connected directly to the sewer system. So I'm gonna ask, if this pertains to anyone, if you have gutters that are connected to the city sewer system, I'm not asking you to call DEP and self-report, right? Please don't do that. But I am going to ask you to be in contact with Jamie Williams' office. We have a representative from her office here today that spoke earlier. He just raised his hand in the back. They have already started this conversation. Speak to them. And this only pertains to a small handful of people anyway. And I'm speaking as a resident and a homeowner. I would not call DEP and say, well, I have such and such, because while this letter was, as a claim, it was to inform and educate, not to threaten increased enforcement. We don't want to rat on ourselves, right? Because you know what'll happen. You know. So, go ahead. Yeah, you can speak.
I can add to that. I got the letter. I live on East 33rd and Fillmore. It's a dual system. There's two. You have a dual system if you have two sewer caps side by side or diagonal to each other in front of your house, one on the left side of the street, one on the right side of the street. There's no problem with that. In most of our neighborhoods, that's what we have.
Okay.
I had DEP actually come to my house because I said, I'm going to have to explain this to all the constituents what they're supposed to do. I let them in my house voluntarily. They came down. I live in a realty house, a brick realty house on 33rd Street. So on the left side of my house, if I'm in the house, if I'm facing the house, it's on the right side, there's a line, and it goes from the back of the house, and it goes all the way down the left side of the left side of the house, and it goes out, and it connects to the gutters with the pipes on the outside. And there's a drain that goes to that. On the other side, there's another pipe system that goes to the trap. That's perfectly fine, you don't have to do anything. And that's how it was explained to us. If you're dumping into the combined system, they haven't really sent letters out about that. They only sent them to our neighborhoods, which I don't even know why they did that, because they apologize for scaring everybody. They would like you to kind of disconnect, because at the end of the day, the plant can only hold 4 million gallons. We did this last time with DEP when we had the floodings. They can only hold 4 million gallons, and then the plant shuts down. And then they take the water and they throw it into Gerritsen Beach. What? Basically what happens. Exactly what happens. It was explained to us 100 times. Barbara, you were here for those meetings. DEP came and gave us all kinds of stuff for our houses.
So thank you so much for...
No, you don't have to do it. I know your block. You don't have to do anything.
So what we're gonna do is, so if we have, if we have any person that falls within that category, and this is happening to you, I'm gonna ask you to reach out individually to, there was a request for DEP to come here.
Call me. You can call me. Anybody has a pen, I'll give you my cell. 917.
Are you talking over me?
I'm sorry, 917-295-1127. Just call my cell. I'm gonna be in contact with the DEP. I'm trying to get them to come and do a town hall for us.
We're gonna do you like Paul and no more mic for you. There was a request for DEP to come to the board and do a presentation here, but because this pertains to such a small number of people, we didn't do that. But I know there was concern, so I wanted to communicate that right now. There is a possibility, well, it sounds like the Assemblywoman's office is going to plan something. Maybe we'll do something here at the board, or we'll have everyone come together separate and apart from the actual community board meeting, town hall meeting. Next up is a bill that Senator Kevin Parker is carrying along with Assembly Member Stephanie Zinnerman. So Kevin Parker, 21st Senate District, some of this area. Stephanie Zinnerman is the 56th Assembly District, which is Olivet-Stye and Northern Crown Heights. This bill will designate Kings County, the whole county, Brooklyn, as a cease and desist zone and prohibit real estate solicitation of registered homeowners. The bill, it's one of those technical bills where they like amend sections and meanings of things with the New York State law. But that's basically, I just broke it down and it's here on the agenda. So folks will not be able to cold call you and walk up to you and talk to you, mail you things, all those, like all that. These initiatives such as this have been in conversation for a really long time, and our state legislators have been trying to find ways in which, our state legislators have been trying to find legal ways in which to make this happen in smaller districts, right? Like this Assembly District, this Senate District, but now we're talking about the whole entire borough. So I need a motion on the floor for us to send a letter of support or show our official support
I make a motion.
for this. You make a motion.
I make a
Anyone
motion to
second?
send a letter and support to get rid of it.
Thank you. Who's second? Arnell, thank you so much. All right, so it was moved by Greg, Baruso was second by Arnell that we send a letter in support of Assembly Bill 5881A, Senate Bill 6135, which would designate Kings County as a cease and desist zone and prohibit real estate solicitation of registered homeowners. Are we ready for the question? Yes. All right. Madam Secretary, I'm going to ask that we proceed with a roll call vote.
Cassandra Alvarez. Yes. Johnny Espentelis.
Yes.
Mohammed Aziz. Felina Becker. Alan Bash.
Yes.
Barbara Beavers, yes. Greg Baruso.
Yes.
Roosevelt Borscott. Gardy Brazella. Andrania Burgess. Lisa Calendar Wilson. Yes. Jamal Carrill.
Okay.
Kimberly Koch.
Yes.
Charmaine Corny Antoine.
Yes.
Donna Mae Crossfield. Paul Curiali. They need to come inside.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Wait, hold on. Can you tell those people that she went? Oh, she did, okay,
I
thank
think now
you.
no one kicks my ass.
Donna Mae Crossfield. Paul Curiali.
Yes.
Paul.
Paul, say yes.
Yes.
It's
There you go.
Gil Siegler.
Yes. That's trust right there.
Marie Deleuze.
When do we move into your house?
Stanley Delva.
When do we move in?
Nigel Dupre. Ariel Freeman. Maria Garrett. Denise Gordon.
Yes.
Denise Gordine.
Yes.
Francesca Griffith. Sarah Hendricks. Thomas Hernandez Jr. Kenny Jean Baptiste. Naomi Lair.
Yes.
Rob Mizuchin.
Yes.
O'Neal Morgan.
Yes.
Dudley Placeval.
Yes.
David Price. Elaine Reed. Yolaine Rador. Michelle Seeley. Frank Setio.
Yes.
Akisa Nisi.
Yes.
Christopher Smith.
Yes.
Victoria Stennett. Julia Stutes.
Yes.
Annette Tomlin. Jennifer Troman. Mike Trotter. Arnell Williams.
Yes.
Shireen Williams. Maria Willis. Valerie Woodford. Grace Willenberg.
Yeah. Yeah,
Naomi.
Greg, take over.
I didn't say we're doing a vote. I was calling.
I was talking.
I think we're breaking down here.
I'll take over.
Okay, well, with 23 unanimous, Lord have mercy, the motion carries with 23 yeses. Congratulations, Kevin Parker and Stephanie Zimmerman. All right. Next up, oh, sorry, I thought it was you, Paul. It wasn't. My bad. It's Sue Ann. You can go back outside and talk
I
to
will
your
give my
friends.
time to Sue
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I hope my report is as riveting as our public hearing. You're just getting this joke now? So thank you to our community councils and associations for providing so much important information at their monthly meetings. As always, our elected officials host various seminars and programs. I'm happy to join these events on behalf of Community Board 18 to support our elected officials that do so much for our community. In and around Community Board 18, Christmas tree collections have been extended to whenever. Since the expansion of citywide composting, residents do not have to follow a limited schedule and can place their real naked trees without a plastic bag at the curb on their weekly composting and recycling day. You can do this throughout the year. If you like to keep your tree up forever, that's fine. This includes your wreaths. If you have an artificial tree, remove the metal base and trunk and put the parts out with metal recycling. On March 31st, 2025, we sent an email to DOT regarding an investigation of the operation of the traffic signal at Avenue U and East 61st Street. We finally received an answer on January 8th, 2026, that the timing signals were modified to improve the flow of traffic. Installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of East 87th Street and Flatlands Avenue has been approved. No standing signage specifically for daylighting on the southeast corner of Mill Avenue approaching Mayfair Drive North will be installed. Protective coating for bridges throughout Brooklyn was approved by the DOT. One of the bridges is located at Flatbush Avenue over the Belt Parkway. We have not received any specific dates for the work yet, but once they do give us the dates, there will be closures and detours. Community Board 18 partnered with Millennium Development, Flatlands Volunteer Ambulance Corps, Marine Park Alliance, Marine Park Civic, Kings Plaza, Canarsie Kiwanis Club, St. Bernard's Knights of Columbus, and the 63rd Precinct Community Council to host a blood drive this past Sunday at Marine Park. Despite the snow, we had a very successful drive. People were coming in from the park to give blood, and that was great. Community Board 18 January Cabinet Meeting. The B82 SBS updated on construction along Kings Highway. 63rd Precinct, 2 homes, one in East 103rd Street and the other on East 85th Street, served with DOB violations due to hoarding issues. Possible evacuation of the property for unsanitary conditions. Forster Avenue, 18-wheelers removed but keep returning to park there. Avenue D truck parking owner trying to resolve the issue. Jamaica Bay Greenway project, new water main pumps and valves replaced on East 76th Street. No night or weekend work. Work will not affect South Shore High School or buses. Completion date is fall 2026. DOB, new commissioner. DOB after hours on Tuesdays for violations in their offices. Also get your summonses corrected this Friday, January 23rd at Flatbush YMCA, 1401 Flatbush Avenue. Flyers are on the table in the lobby. The Department of Social Services and Department of Homeless Services needs volunteers for Hope Night on January 27th from 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. citywide to assist them in helping people get off the streets and into shelters. The Department of Health and Mental Health, any issues with a new or renewal of your handicap permit. If there is an issue, your doctor can call the following number. I can give it to you now. You can call the office. It's 347-396-6552. Aging New York City, no administrative changes thus far. The office encourages older adults to contact them for crime prevention and support services if they have been a victim of scams at aging.ny.gov. Jennifer Horsford, representing Senator Roxanne Prasad, 33 bills passed, plans to address issues for a better Rockaway Parkway shopping corridor, work with sanitation on dumping issues throughout Canarsie. Donald Cranston, representing Assemblymember Jamie Williams. The Assembly member kicked off 2026 with a bill signed by the governor that gives first responders spouse property tax exemption if their spouse is killed in the line of duty. Moving ion battery facilities away from homes, schools, and religious institutions. Millennium Development announced blood drive and older adult services. Frida Menos, representing Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, updated on resource and job fairs, and those are also outside on the tables. All these flyers are outside on the tables. Sabrina DeJuice, representing Councilwoman Farrah Lewis, graffiti removal through Department of Sanitation. Businesses must apply for a waiver, and upcoming removal of the Omni machines. Maria Mock, representing Assemblymember Kalman Yeager, first legislation for 2026 that insurance can no longer charge more than $100 for EpiPens. They also have free tax prep in their office. Irina Kelvner, representing Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse, event updates, in-office services, legal assistance, upcoming clothing boutique, and food giveaways. Contact her office for snow removal. I just put myself on that list because they're saying a lot of fun is going to happen in the next couple of days. We're going to have pretty deep snow coming our way. So if you live in the community and you want to get on that list, by all means, give her office a call. Good and welfare. Happy birthday to Chia Naomi Hopkins and her son Matthew.
How did you know? You sent us an
They see her
email.
on Facebook together. I mean, I know. And of course, her son Matthew. Happy birthday to our Assistant District Manager, Dorothy Paul. She's not here. She was here earlier. She's out celebrating. Congratulations to Board Member Frank Sedio on the marriage of his niece. And kudos to everyone that took the time to honor Martin Luther King Jr. and and actually Monday, as part of a day of service. Thank you all for coming. I hope that was as riveting as our public hearing.
Well, yeah.
That's why we all
Happy
stayed.
birthday to me at the end of the month. But are we done? We're not even done yet. This is crazy.
No, the floor is actually not open yet. So we're still on the agenda. Our treasurer's not here. We're gonna go into our Parks Committee meeting, and then after that, the floor will be open.
Okay, there's a lack of energy,
Thank
Parks
you.
Committee, so we're gonna get up and do 100 jumping jacks. Come on, everyone, let's do it. Come on, no. Don't wanna lose you. Just stay here, a couple minutes. Jennifer's right with me. Okay, so we have two things on our agenda here. We had a wonderful Parks Committee meeting
Who
right
broke
before.
ass? Pay
We have,
attention.
to Madam Chairperson, we have 9 members on our
talking about?
committee. Today, all 9 showed up.
Hey.
Come on, if you're still here, come on, yeah, there you go, that's a committee. I mean, I brought snacks and stuff like that, I'm just kidding.
That's because you have Delta in your committee.
Yeah, that's it. We gotta make it exciting. So, the first one here is actually an update and an
here.
input shared during the New York City Parks virtual meeting regarding Build a Seat Playground Flatlands Avenue between East 81st Street and East 82nd Street. If everyone's aware of that, on Flatlands Avenue. So there was funding granted. I was looking for the flyer actually, Greg and I. Last week they had a virtual
I know,
meeting
you're not
run by
talking
New
about
York City
us.
Parks. I should also say that we have with us, Robin, are you still here, our Parks Manager? No? Okay, Eric Pearson's still here, he's our Marine Park Administrator. Eric, thank you, he also showed up at our committee meeting. I'm just trying to get the parks here, sorry, okay. So, the meeting was held last Wednesday, it was a virtual meeting, and let me read you the flyer here. Build a Seat Playground virtual input meeting. Join New York City to share, discuss your ideas. The redesign of Build a Seat Playground project funded by Assembly Member Jamie Williams, State Senator Roxanne Prasad, Mayor Eric Adams, former mayor, I should say, Borough President Antonio Reynoso, Council Member Mercedes Narcisse. There was $8.067 million dollars there, 8.067, that's how they wrote million, appointed to this project. The meeting took place. So there was a question and answer, the period is still open. We'll actually include that in our minutes here. I think we actually have to send that out to community board because actually it's only open, I believe, for another couple of weeks for question, answers, and response. But today, our council member, Mercedes Narcisse, she actually sent a memo to the community board. I will quickly read the memo, okay? She too was on the call, so was our Assembly Member Jamie Williams was on the call last week regarding the park. And our council member Mercedes Narcisse sent the memo today saying, members of the Community Board 18, I am writing regarding the proposed approval of construction at Build a Seat Playground. While I appreciate the New York City Parks design to move forward with improvements at this site, I respectfully ask that the Community Board 18 allow for a short pause before granting full approval in the FY25 city budget. I secured $500,000 for a feasibility study to evaluate the potential placement of a community center at this location. That study is intended to help determine the best long-term use of the site and ensure that any capital investments are coordinated and aligned. The location for the proposed community center was strategically selected to be accessible to the youth from across Canarsie and adjoining neighborhoods, while also being situated in an area that has experienced incidents of gun violence. The goal is to ensure that any future investment at this site is responsive to community needs and supports positive, safe spaces for young people. At this time, it is important to clarify the future scope of construction at Build a Seat Playground so that we do not move forward in a way that could limit options or require costly changes later. I am requesting additional time to review the findings and better understand how the playground improvements and potential community center could coexist or be phased appropriately. I value the board's partnership and consideration. I look forward to continuing to work together to ensure the best outcome for the community. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. Signed, Honorable Mercedes Narcisse, New York City Council, Member 46 Council District. So, and it was said that night too, Mercedes Narcisse actually said it herself, about this possible site. We're gonna leave, so we met this evening with committee. The committee wants to actually let Parks do their thing. And actually our council member she said at the end of the night too, that there could be future funding, but no one knows dollars or cents right here. What we are gonna honor, and this is what we wanna make a motion, we made a what are we doing? We made a recommendation to our board to send out some type of a letter or some type of letterhead to, I guess, the Parks Department, in request to our council members' request to put a slight pause on this project.
But no one's asking us for a letter. She didn't want us to vote on the park.
Correct.
So that's it.
So when we went committee tonight, we went a step further, and we said, well, maybe we should send it to Parks in honoring Parks too, for the hard work that they do, but also know there's other elected officials involved, there's Senator Roxanne Prasad, there's also Jamie Williams, and letting everyone know that this was a request. So we don't want to we're actually asking for a recommendation, but we thought that we should honor Mercedes' request and ask for the board's attention to this matter in some way. So what do you think? We're kind of like stuck here because we were going to propose it, but right now we two all 9 members agreed that we should honor the memo.
So we can communicate with Parks and let them know where we are. That as per request from our council member, we are not voting right now, so that if they decide to move forward with her feasibility study, they're free to do so.
Okay.
Because we don't know, we haven't heard from Parks, so we don't even know if they're going to entertain that.
Well, the floor is the question and answer, and the comment period is open, I believe, till the end of February. If we can get that too from Parks, our team here too. I know that they mentioned it tonight, but they were supposed to shoot something out back to the community board. So I don't know. Okay, so they might have not done that. They're probably on it again.
They have, yeah.
Shortly too. Okay, so that's what our recommendation was. So.
All right, I want to be clear. So the recommendation is that we reach back out to Parks and let them know where we are.
Right.
But it sounded like you really want a letter. You want, well, that is a letter, right? That's communication.
Yeah,
what is it exactly that you want the letter to say?
Just that we wanted to honor the request of our council member because we know that she has a study coming, and we too wanted to know, well, what's the study outcome going to be? Is there room or is there not? I mean, we could all look at the parcel like we did at this parcel. We just commented for over an hour and say, well, is it big enough, not enough? But I think since the money has been secured for $500,000, let's utilize it for its use.
Do we know who is going to conduct the feasibility study?
I do not.
Right.
So that wasn't said in that memo.
So that's
I would assume it's
I'm a
Parks
little
related, and I think that's what we realized.
I'm reticent for us to do a letter of support for that because we're lacking some detail.
Okay.
But I'm totally on board with sending a letter to them, letting them know where we are as a board, and we're deferring, and then we'll take all the information.
And
we can do that without a vote.
I think we also should let the other elected officials that are part of that funding know as well. I just don't know
I agree.
how to do that.
Well, we're gonna send a letter to Parks, and we're gonna CC everybody, and it'll be signed by you and signed by me.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And I think you had something else on your.
Here we go. So next one is that we did have Scott Middleton. He was our speaker. Scott, are you still in the house? Scott actually he just became a dad, so he ran home if he's not here. So Scott couldn't wait. Scott, we'll give him a shout out. Scott represents the Marine Park Alliance, a great group, a nonprofit group, and they are actually asking us for a letter of support for the Marine Park Alliance grant submission of the New York, New Jersey Harbor SSC program, Advancing Habitat Restoration Through Community. It's going to be in the Garrison Creek area, he explained. He has some of the copies here for everyone else. He gave this to our committee. And Scott is very, very excited about the work that his organization does. Also, the Parks Committee wants to support them in the future by sending volunteers, and he basically is the only staffer for the group. It's a grant for $75,000, 2 years, and it's basically that they would actually give out stipends to young people. So they work mostly with high school students, and volunteers, so the stipends will really go to the high school. It was mentioned by the board members too, the committee members, to please try to encourage locals, and he assured that that would always happen. Right now, they work with Madison, they work with the local South Shore High School, and other groups that they advertise. So anyway, we did take a vote on that one, and actually we took a vote to support, to give a letter of support for the Marine Park Alliance grant submission, as stated on our minutes. Okay, so if we could support that, I don't think that, it says vote here.
Yeah, so this was already on the, on the agenda, so I just wanna also just speak, just a matter of process here. If you read the agenda, it says update on input shared during NYC Parks virtual. Paul's first update was only about parks, and we were going to get that update coming into the day, and then there was a request that we actually do not move forward with this update and defer to the councilwoman. So everyone understands that?
Yeah.
And so the committee has decided to defer to the councilwoman, who is putting her money where her mouth is, and she's saying she wants to see this project, and she has $500,000 to see if this is actually feasible at that location. So that's what we're doing. So we're not moving forward with what was originally on our agenda. The second part is a letter of support from Marine Park Alliance's grant submission, which was already on the agenda for that letter of support. The language has not been drafted yet, but that's what we're going to vote on. So before we get that motion, I just want to make sure everybody's clear on what's happening, because once we put the motion on the floor, we're only going to talk about, if there is discussion, it's only going to be about the letter of support from Marine Park.
So the only thing that we did have a question, one of the members said, do we really have to vote as a group, because it's committee, and it really is a grant that they're writing for an aspect, for a part of the community?
So they're gonna write their grant whether we're with it or not, but a letter of support from us makes their grant stronger.
No, we want to give a letter of support. The question is, do we have to vote it as a whole group?
Yeah, we have to vote on it as a group,
That was a
yeah.
question that one of the committee members did ask, and I said,
Yeah.
okay, I'll ask that too.
Every member has a say.
That's fine.
Whereas with the first letter, we don't need to vote on it because we're just giving a status update on where we are as a board. Okay, first question.
Yes, I think if we have on a point of information, I believe that we're doing letters. We don't have to have a roll call vote. I believe we can do it by voice vote.
We can.
Okay?
Thank you.
It saves the time of both of us.
We can, thank you. Anybody else?
So again, we found out about this, he wrote it up, Scott was our speaker, we kind of put that together today, I called him early in the morning. If anyone wants board members that want to just see what we're voting for, it's right here, a little bit more explanation. I
just want to see,
yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
This organization gave out only 3 grants citywide.
What?
One was in the Bronx, one was another part of the Gowanus Canal in Brooklyn, and another part he was unsure of. So it's not that I've given out many, but he says it is competitive, and it is only a $75,000 grant for 2 years.
Thank you. Anybody else? Questions? Oh, Mel, good to see you today. Nothing else? Okay. So we'll move on.
This project is.
On behalf of the Parks Committee for Community Board 18, I make a motion to give a letter of support for the Marine Park Alliance grant submission to New York, New Jersey Harbor SC program, advancing habitat restoration through community.
I second it.
All right, it has been moved by Paul Curiali and seconded by Julius Stoops that we provide a letter of support from Marine Park Alliance grant submission to the New York, New Jersey Harbor and Estuary Program. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. We had, okay, yeah, well, this was discussion, so go ahead.
Real quick, pertaining to Builder Seat, because I do work there. I've been working there for a while. I graduated.
Oh, we're going back to the Builder Seat thing? All right, I'm so sorry. Let's just, I'm gonna stay right there. Don't move. I'm gonna get the acclamation and then you can speak, okay? My apologies.
No worries.
All right, so all those in favor of sending the letter of support for Marine Park Alliance? Aye. All right, nays, you have the same pleasure. Hearing none, the motion carries. We will send a letter of support from Marine Park Alliance. Thank you so much. Please continue, sir.
Just a question I wanted to ask about Builder Seat. If y'all consider opening up a community center there as opposed to reconstructing a park.
We did. That's what I was explaining before. So on the agenda, we're gonna update on the input shared from the Parks virtual meeting. So Parks had, the New York City Parks Department and our Park and Recreation Committee had a committee meeting about that. Updating, how we were gonna move and we were gonna vote tonight on moving forward. However, today, Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse reached out to the board and she asked that we not move forward with the vote because she wants to see a community center there. Not just her, many people in the community want to see a community center there. Sounds like you do as well, right? So she asked us to pause on that so that she has the opportunity to get a feasibility study done. So for anyone who's not aware, the feasibility study is a study of this space to see if it makes sense, if it's even possible for a community center to go there. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to respond to the Parks Department, who's anticipating receiving a response from us, and let them know that, we're not moving forward right now because we are deferring to our council member so she has time to do what it is that she needs to do. And then, come back before us and we'll make our decisions then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I add one thing too? So, a board member in the committee actually asked about the new part of the park, the Build-A-See. So behind the building, there was AstroTurf and basketball courts. That's not the area in question. That area will remain. The only area in question is the playground, which is on Flatlands Avenue where the restrooms are. There's a little triangle restroom area. It's only that part. So again, it's nothing to do with the new areas behind the school. The areas behind the school, according to the manager too, that was earlier, is actually a shared program. So during school hours, school has priority over those areas. And many of our schoolyards actually have that. So we have to be careful of some areas whenever we look for an area in case. I will say one other thing too, the committee did bring up, in case this spot does not work. Again, this has nothing to do with what we voted on. What other locations in that area could work? And that's what the committee actually is gonna still look at too. I know our council member's office has been looking at it, but we'll just put that out there. If this doesn't work for a community center, what would work?
We have the Patrick Basin, Patrick Club, actually.
So I think we were more parks.
Park that
Yeah,
word.
that was what came up in committees. We're a parks committee, so we have to look for parks land.
Well, if that building doesn't go
So it is, but it's on a concession.
If that vote for the high school doesn't go, they can have that.
Yeah, because they went through a whole bunch of different management and they haven't figured out what to do, and that's basically solely because it hasn't been for the community. I worked there from 2010 to 2015.
I just had to add that.
I'm familiar with the area and the different managers that came through, and they weren't for community. But when it becomes for community, that's when it's going to be used to the right way.
Thank you so much. Remind me of your name again?
The kids know me as Coach J.O., Jonathan Nerval.
Yes, I know you told us last month. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Coach.
for being here too.
All right. Oh, we know this gentleman. Hello, Jabril.
I'm gonna make it really quick. Is it on? Peace?
It's on.
Peace, everybody. Jabril Jallo, former board member. I just want to speak really quickly in support of moving forward and getting clarification from Parks on why they want to move forward now with this imminent allocation after they know that the city is looking to do a study for feasibility. And just want to add some context for folks that are not familiar. Coach Gio and I was there last January, a year ago to this month, in response to an 18-year-old young man
Being alive, being alive.
And the day we did the rally, there was another woman shot
being
up the
alive,
block
being
within
alive.
2 hours of that rally.
Alive,
So we
being
don't just want a community center for aesthetics. We need investment in this part of the community. We need our young folks to have places to go. So, we hear we need a community center, we need a community center, we need a community center. It's because of what happened. Because we had a young man shot in
Okay, I'm alive, I'm
playground.
alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm
Today we did a
alive, I'm
rally
alive.
to say we need to stop the shooting and get investment
Pew,
into our
pew,
community.
pew, pew. The social media's gonna kick me out.
So it's not just hyperbole.
Social media don't like certain words. So that's why you have to continue to talk over them.
We don't need people on the ground. We don't need more
Social media don't like certain words.
invested community center.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jabril.
I'm just more confused. How does a building prevent shootings?
Oh, come on,
I've
Fred.
been 23 years.
Lord have mercy,
And someone who's
Christ.
investigated many times these kinds of crimes. Most of the shootings that occur that we found right up until today are people who know each other. Probably 85% of the shootings that occur in the city.
I'm alive, alive. I'm alive, alive.
I do agree with the sentiment. I'm just not sure why we can't use school itself. I mean, for many, many years, we had programs in school. This is a magnificent school that has great space to be utilized, great gym, great open spaces,